outsiders.
Good evening. It is 6 p.m. and welcome to the Bexar County Schools work session this evening. We'll get things started. We'll get approval for the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Second, Ms. Kelly. All right. And if we can start with the superintendent's report.
Yep. Take the vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Ready for me now?
Yep, go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Miss Maddox is ready for spring break, just like all of you, see. Board members, just a couple of things to share. We had the opportunity to host the district art show here at the PDC, so we were happy to see all of the schools display their students' art, and the parents got a chance to come up here, and it was just a really great event. So to all our school leaders and the teaching and learning staff that helped make that happen, just want to say thank you to all those folks. And we also will be celebrating our Special Olympics athletes on Friday at Appalachia High School. So hope everybody can come out to Appalachia on Friday morning, have a great time. We are gearing up for that here at the PDC and have designated the rest of the week to be Spirit Week. So we'll be in our best school gear for the rest of the week to honor those Special Olympic athletes. Also got 2 action items for you for the April 14th meeting. So this is just for you guys to be thinking about, but at the April 14th meeting, you will need to designate a delegate for the GSBA Delegate Assembly, and you will also need to designate an alternate delegate for the GSBA Delegate Assembly. So you've got a couple of weeks to think on that and who you might want to nominate, and you'll be able to nominate and vote on those selections at the April 14th meeting. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Okay, thank you. All right, if we'll start with presentations and discussions. Dr. Matt Thompson.
Good evening. For the board this evening, we have 2 items of information and 4 action items. I'll just briefly go through the information items. You see we have the February communications report posted that you can go through some of the biggest items of communication during this month. We're Winterberry High School making a deep run into the playoffs. You can see the valedictorian and salutatorian announcements, but also some of our new principal announcements, which is always very exciting. The 140th day student count is posted for your review. The count day was March 20th, and you can see we had 15,158 students enrolled on March 20th. So now we're going to go into the action items, and I try to be not as complicated as I probably could be, but tonight we are going to have a little bit of complication in that we have 4 action items, one of which we are going to ask the board to vote on this evening in order to be compliant with some of the law, 2 of which we're going to ask the board for consideration to put on the consent agenda for the April 14th board meeting, and we have 1 item that we are also going to ask the board's consideration to have on the agenda on the April 14th board board meeting, but as a separate voting item, not on the consent agenda. And we'll walk through the reasons for all those things as we present them. So the first action item is revision to policy DFGA. I'm going to ask Dr. J.B. Bowen to come up and talk through this.
Good evening. For many years, Barrow County Schools have issued senior citizen cards by request to anyone 62 years of age or older. These cards have served as a free single admission pass to any extracurricular activity sponsored by Barrow County Schools. This was adopted as policy DFGA. We feel a small revision is necessary now to be more user-friendly for both our senior citizens and for our school staff. Instead of issuing and requiring these cards, we propose that a photo identification establishing a qualifying age of 62 be accepted at events for free admission with minimal exceptions. The proposed new policy reads, the Barrow County Board of Education recognizes the need to provide senior citizens with the opportunity to attend at no cost any extracurricular activity sponsored by the school system. Barrow County School System will allow free admission to individuals 62 years of age or older based on photo identification. This applies to any extracurricular activity sponsored by Barrow County School System, excluding playoffs and tournaments. And I'll add a note, playoffs and tournaments are excluded because these events are often controlled by the GHSA. Therefore, they dictate parameters to us such as fees, what fees to accept and what passes to accept. So that wouldn't be included in our local policy. The superintendent recommends placing this potential revisions to policy DFGA, admissions and gate receipts, on the table for public review and commentary. Are there any questions or concerns?
This would be a consent agenda item.
Yep, we'll move that to consent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowen. This next item is revision to policy IFBG. This is the item that we are asking the board to vote on tonight. And as a reminder, that is so we can be in compliance with OCGA 22-324, which requires us to have this policy revision complete by April 1st, 2026. So I'm going to ask Mr. St. Clair to remind you of this policy.
Thank you. The superintendent recommends removing a proposed revision to policy IFBG, that's the Internet Acceptable Use Policy, from the table for public review and comment, and recommends adopting the GSBA reviewed and approved revisions. This was the revision to our acceptable use policy that added the social media component that was part of the Protecting Georgia's Children on Social Media Act in the 2020-24 legislative session. It essentially says that students shall not access social media on school system-provided technology unless specifically approved by school personnel for age-appropriate educational usage. There were no comments as it sat on the table.
All right, we'll vote on that when we get back from executive session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. St. Clair, if you'll hang out for just a second. Our next two items, as we've discussed with the board before, we're extremely appreciative that our legislature has provided ongoing safety funding to all of our schools that we can use to enhance safety. And we have two large ticket items that we're going to present this evening about how we would like to use some of our funds that we received this year. And I'm going to ask Mr. St. Clair to talk a little bit about middle school and high school gym and cafeteria sound upgrades.
Thank you. In an effort to ensure that emergency announcements are clearly heard in gymnasiums and cafeterias across the district, as well as to improve reliability of the audio systems in those spaces for daily use, updates to audio systems in middle and high school gymnasiums and cafeterias are required. Elementary school gymnasiums and cafeterias, which have a smaller footprint, will be addressed via a separate mechanism that we will bring back to at a later date. An RFP was posted, 4 vendors responded. The low bid respondent, Nieswanger AV Center, met the terms of the RFP. They have an excellent reputation among other school districts in the region for this kind of work. Their work is actually very impressive. And they are not adversely listed in the SAM.gov database. Nieswanger also scored highest on the scoring matrix of our review committee. They received 9.7 out of 10 possible points. We assessed cost, the suitability and functionality of their proposal, and also their experiences and references. This project will be funded using school security grant funds. In addition to the $528,860 quoted by Nieswanger to do the work, we are requesting authorization for an additional 7%, that's $37,000, from the same funding source for any moves, adds, changes that inevitably come up during the scope of a project of this scale, making the total project approval $565,860. $565,860 from school security grant funds. So, the superintendent recommends awarding the contract to install audio system upgrades in middle and high school gymnasiums and cafeterias to low bid respondent Nieswanger of Lawrenceville, Georgia, in the proposed amount of $528,860 with an additional allowance of 7%, $37,000, for a grand total of $565,860 out of school security grant funds.
Any discussion?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for clarification, because I'm kind of new, is this something that we accounted for earlier in the year, or we've had a new need come up and you're asking for additional money or approval because of a new need?
This has been a thorn in our side for some time. The systems have, we have a variety of different kinds of systems out there. We don't have a consistent platform out there. And then, of course, we bolted on audio enhancements and Syntegics on in the past few years. And we run into things like somebody's had a production in the gym and they've turned the volume down. And so when there's an intercom announcement, it's not necessarily always heard very clearly because somebody has to go back and tweak the setting. So this has been kind of a growing need for some time. And then when the safety funds became available, it was a logical fit to put this into that bucket.
Mr. St. Clair, so we hear a lot about these safety grant funds coming down from the state. To my knowledge, we get about $800,000 this year in safety grant funds. Is that about close to where you have it?
I think so. I will defer to Ms. Houston on that, but I believe that is about approximately correct.
Yeah, and so with the new HB 1023 passing the House, that number is going to increase once it passes. And so our county would receive about $1.9 million, $1.19. And with our SRO cost, I just want the community to be aware that we have a lot more safety and
Yes,
security
sir.
measures in our system than just SROs, and passing down that cost that we just incurred of an additional $900,000 plus, that takes our entire safety grant. So when you look at the $1.19 million from a taxpayer standpoint, I want the taxpayers to realize that our SRO commitment is $1.9 million. So our safety grant that we're receiving that everybody goes to is not even enough to cover our SROs, much less at $800,000 from this one project that would leave us under $300,000 left. So just a point of clarification, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Callaway. Move to consent. Any other discussion? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Our second item, we're asking for consideration, and this is the item that we would prefer to be a separate voting item, and Mr. Murphy will explain that, but I'm going to ask Joey Murphy to get up and talk about the system-wide access card reader system.
Yes, good evening. The primary purpose of the project is to modernize the district's access control system by transitioning to an open source platform. This upgrade will provide enhanced functionality, improved adaptability, and stronger long-term support. Additionally, as part of this, we've also evaluated our special education classrooms that utilize card readers to prevent student absconding. Those rooms have been audited. They will also be updated to implement and ensure compliance with all applicable life safety codes. This initiative began over a year ago and represents a collaborative effort among system operations, maintenance, business services, information technology, teaching and learning, and human resources. We've all had input on this project. A request for proposals was issued on January 12th, followed by a mandatory pre-proposal meeting on January 29th. System operations and IT staff toured 31 facilities over a 6-day period. We walked every inch of every building that we have that has security control. We're currently looking at the 7 proposals that were submitted. We are finishing up on our final reviews and are confident we will have information to you for final consideration prior to the April 14th meeting. As been previously stated, the total project cost will be funded through fiscal year 25 and 26 state safety and security grant funds.
Board members, just a point of clarification. We'd like to go ahead and get started on that project as soon as possible. So we want to get you the information as soon as we have it, but we will ask you to vote on it at the April 14th meeting as long as we're able to provide you that information beforehand so you have time to consider it. We don't want to bring it to you the night of and ask you to vote on it in that same night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. That's all we have this evening.
All right. Ms. Houston?
All right, thank you. Our first action item, we have 4 of them tonight, is our bulk bookstore. The bulk bookstore has been used by our schools and central office for many book purchases. They stock many titles and normally have the cheapest prices. We are a little over the threshold of $75,000, so we have halted all orders until we receive board approval. Policy DJED exempts requiring bids for book purchases from publishers, distributors, or agents, but it does not. But it does require us to get board approval for anything over $75,000. So the superintendent recommends approving the purchases to bulk store for up to $150,000 for fiscal year 2026 and then into 2027 too, when we give out the media center funds.
Any discussion? Okay, move that to consent.
Our second action item, Governor Kemp's fiscal year 2026 amended budget included a $2,000 salary supplement to support retention of educators and support staff. Now, this is for 2026, not for 2027, so we have to pay it by the end of the year, and it will come out of this year's funds, and we will receive that money from a partial from Georgia Department of Education this year. The salary supplement. So the superintendent is requesting that the salary supplement extend to all of our eligible active employees who are not included in the funding from the state of Georgia. So the state of Georgia is probably doing mostly teachers and principals, some support staff, but they don't fund everybody. So we're asking that it extend to all of our eligible active employees. We're also asking that the salary supplement extend to all of our eligible contract custodians and contract school food nutrition staff who are not covered under the state salary supplement plan. We're asking for $2,000 for full-time and $500 or $250 for part-time or floaters, depending on the hours worked per week. This does not include our substitutes. Employees, contract custodians, and contract nutrition workers will be eligible for this supplement if they are active employees and have been employed by Barrow County School System or contracted through Primero, Top Notch, ESS for 90 calendar days as of the day of the check. We don't want somebody to come in for a week, get their check, and take off. Current employees or current custodial contractors that have not fulfilled the 90-day calendar rule will receive their funds once they have completed the 90 days. Special rules will apply to those on extended leave status, including but not limited to FMLA, workers' comp, or unpaid leave. The salary supplement will be distributed to eligible employees, contract custodians, and contract nutrition workers as quickly as possible in April. We're hoping by April 17th. This supplement is not earnable compensation for TRS, therefore TRS will not be deducted. Taxes will be withheld. Both FICA, federal, and Georgia taxes will be withheld on these funds. The financial impact, the total cost is going to be $5,115,000. This is going to be offset by the state of Georgia, $3,280,000, and Bright from the Start for our pre-K employees of $77,000. So the estimated cost from general fund balance will be $1,758,000. So the superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve a one-time salary supplement of $250,000 to $2,000 to all eligible employees, contract custodians, and contract school food nutrition workers, dependent on the hours worked.
Ms. Houston, on that, should we move that to vote tonight? Would that help with getting that through, or does it even matter? If you're saying the 17th, I'd hate to vote on it on the 14th to push that or have any hiccups. So.
We're going to go ahead and get that worksheet ready, and we can knock it out super easy by the 17th. I don't think I could get it all completed by this Friday, and then, of course, we're off next week.
Approve it. That way it's already done, it doesn't matter.
we're good doing it next Tuesday, or that following Tuesday. But thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? All right, move to consent.
All right, for our third action item, I'm going to ask Ms. Trunk to come up.
Good evening. The superintendent recommends the approval of the purchase of 2 serving lines for Heyman Morris Middle School in the amount of $89,822. We conducted a formal request for proposal process and received 8 responses. After a thorough evaluation, Owens Equipment Company was identified as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, meeting all specifications and criteria outlined in the RFP. These serving lines will support more efficient meal service, help reduce wait times for students, and enhance the overall dining experience at Heyman Morris. Any questions?
All right, we'll move that to consent as well.
Okay. And then tonight I'd like to share a brief overview of our Smart Mouth Pizza program and the impact it's had on our schools. The Smart Mouth Pizza program is designed to offer a high-quality, student-favorite meal option that still meets all USDA school nutrition guidelines. This includes whole-grain rich crust, controlled calories, reduced sodium and fat. It is important to notice that this pizza is served as part of a complete reimbursable meal alongside fruit, vegetables, and milk. We implemented this program with one primary goal in mind, and that was to increase student participation in our meal program, especially at the high school level where participation tends to decline. Since introducing the Smart Mouth Pizza, we've seen significant results. Participation has increased by 23% at Winterboro High School and 26% at Bassa. That means that more students are choosing to eat meals provided by our program each day. From a financial standpoint, this increase in participation directly impacts our bottom line. While the program costs approximately $140,000 annually, the additional meals served generate increased USDA reimbursement. As a result, the program is expected to have positive financial impact overall. Beyond the numbers, this program helps us to better serve our students. It provides a meal option they enjoy while still ensuring they received a balanced, nutritious lunch. For these reasons, the Smart Mouth Pizza program is not just a food choice, it's a strategic investment in student participation, program sustainability, and overall student success. I respectfully recommend your approval to continue this program. And so the superintendent recommends approval of the Bullseye brand for Winterboro High School and Bassa Pizza program at an annual cost of $140,000.
Ms. Trunk, I want to share, I shared with Ms. Houston earlier, I did have a chance to taste the pizza, and it is quite delicious. So thank you for continuing to try to find some things our kids will enjoy at lunch.
Thank you.
All right, move that to consent as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Dr. Brown?
Good evening. The Chief Academic Officer Board of Education report contains one item of information. I'm happy to invite Dr. Lauren Carter, principal at Auburn Elementary School, and Mrs. Mindy Reed, principal at Bethlehem Elementary School, and they're going to share a little bit more about early literacy instruction within BCSS.
Good evening. We wanted to take a few minutes tonight to explain what people mean when they say the science of reading and how that our current resources actually align with that. At its core, the science of reading is simply research about how the brain learns to read and how we can teach reading in the most effective way for all students. It tells us that reading is not something that just happens naturally. It must be taught explicitly and through a key set of skills. Early literacy is one of the most important foundations we build for our students. When students learn to read well in the early grades, it impacts their success in every subject area. Our focus is to ensure all students receive a strong research-based literacy instruction while also making sure teachers have the tools and support that they need to be successful.
So the key skills that Dr. Carter just mentioned are often called the 5 pillars of reading. Phonemic awareness is one of those pillars. It's where we can hear the sounds in words. making those letter sounds and putting them together to make words. Phonics is connecting those sounds to the letters. Fluency is reading smoothly and accurately. Vocabulary is understanding the word meaning, and comprehension is understanding what you read. Each pillar plays a key role in helping our students become strong readers.
In our elementary classrooms, we already have many great resources that we are very grateful to you for that are aligned to the 5 pillars of reading. Heggerty supports phonemic awareness in grades pre-K through 2nd grade through short daily lessons. It helps students hear and manipulate sounds in spoken language. HMH into Reading supports the other 4 pillars: phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. It provides systematic instruction, rich texts, and connects reading and writing. Together, these resources align instruction to the science of reading.
Some of the things that we truly believe in and we have a strong foundation in are the training for our teachers right now. We have very strong instruction going on in our classrooms as a result of all of our certified teachers, pre-K through 5th grade, having completed the Georgia Literacy Academy training. They had to complete 30 hours of training online for that, which were very rich modules of instruction. They've also received an abundance of professional learning on the new ELA standards through the support of our RESA and also our district. And they've been trained on Heggerty and HMH into Reading resources when those resources were adopted, but then continuing each year to receive further training in those areas. So this ensures that our teachers understand not just what to teach, but the how and why behind what we're teaching.
Looking ahead, there's some important next steps with the new ELA standards. A few of the key shifts that with the new standards include a stronger focus on phonemic awareness, especially in early grades, a deeper connection between reading and writing, clear practices that guide instruction, stronger vertical alignment, meaning skills that build clearly from grade to grade, and the addition of handwriting as an important foundational skill. To prepare for this, our teams have deconstructed standards this year and created teacher resources to ensure a deep understanding of the new standards. Next, we will be working to fully align our curriculum maps to the new standards, ensure our common assessments match those expectations, and continue to support teachers as they refine instruction. This will ensure clarity and consistency across all of our grade levels. Because at the end of the day, this work is about one thing: making sure every student becomes a confident, capable reader.
Thank you.
I do actually have one question that I wanted to answer, Dr. Carey. A couple of meetings ago, you had asked a question about our instructional resources, and it's related to some of the things we shared tonight, specifically how we're considering which resources to continue and whether or not any are being sunsetted. So each year we do closely review the resources that we are using and what we're including in our budget. We want to ensure that they're meeting our students' needs. We also want to make sure that we are making responsible financial decisions. So as part of that review, one resource that we did decide to make the decision to sunset for the 26-27 school year is the Mayan reading license. That's a digital book platform, and so we did determine that with the resources that we already had, that that was something that we were able to meet the needs with the other resources.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Dr. Brown, I just want to share, I had a chance at our professional learning day to observe some of our elementary school teachers doing some of that vertical work and deconstruction of standards, and it was really powerful. So just wanted to say thank you to your team and the teachers across our school system. They were doing some really great work and trying to prepare for our students.
Yes, we are really excited about being able to dig into our curriculum and our standards. Our teachers have been incredible. So thank you to all of our administrators for their support and helping us get our teachers on board. So thank you.
All right, Chief of Staff, Dr. Kurtz.
All right, good evening. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. This evening we have one information item and 3 action items, all related to our operations department. To begin, I'll ask Transportation Director Jason Ayers to come up and review the state bus safety inspection process and our outcomes.
Good evening, everybody. Favorite topic of the night, bus is the mustard and the ice cream of the district, so that's what we like to do, is get it going. Anyway, we had 213 buses inspected. Out of those 213, we had 105 that passed with no defects at all. We had passed with defects, there were 73. Out of service defects were 23 buses. Out of those 23, what it boils down to, we go back through, we pull them out of the shop, we'll do a repair real quick, run them back through. Out of those 23, 21 were repaired, run back through, they passed, went back on the road that afternoon and stuff. The other two, we didn't have parts for them, so they had to wait till the parts delivery guy showed up for that part. Total, like I said, total defects 152. One thing to keep in mind, items checked on a bus are between 350 and 400 on a single bus. So when you look at those numbers and you say words like out of service, that might sound, kind of extreme and stuff like that, but we want to remind people that that's a very strict standard. If you're in the trucking world, there's a very strict standard to that, and it's almost at perfection levels. Our folks do a great job keeping our buses going and everything. So anything over 10%, though, they typically will do spot checks and things like that just to make sure, everything's flowing good and everything like that. So pretty cut and dry on that part. Any questions about any of it?
Keep up the good work.
All right, good deal. I studied. Y'all could ask me something.
Well, and I want to thank our transportation department. They've been working hard, and on the attachment there, you'll see our year-over-year numbers are improving. Of course, they're aiming with some of their KPIs in the strategic plan much higher, and so really thankful for all the hard work they put in. Our next three action items are all related to the maintenance of our buildings and our grounds, and Director Greg Webb will come up and share those action items with you, these contracts and tools that he uses to keep our buildings and grounds in great shape for our kiddos.
Thank you. Good evening. I always have to follow Jason, and it's not really the place you want to be. I've had to do that several times recently. Our first item that we're going to ask you to vote on is for RFP award of an HVAC filter change contract. This HVAC filter change RFP is the result of a competitive RFP that was issued in January of 2026. The RFP was advertised on the Georgia Procurement website and the BCSS website. We held a pre-proposal meeting. 7 qualified proposals were received. Each proposal was evaluated on cost, experience, and the capacity of the person submitting the proposal. Filter Pro IAQ received the highest overall score. Costs are budgeted using general maintenance funds from FY26 and FY27. The contract is renewable annually, allows for inflation adjustments per the CPI, and allows for adjustments due to system growth. And looks like over 5 years, the cost for filters will be $709,000 if we utilize Filter Pro versus the others. Any questions?
Is there a reason the price is doubled the first year with that vendor?
Yes, it is. They proposed a system where they provide us with metal frames that stay in the units each time, and then they just bring out the media filter, and it significantly shaves their cost for the next 4 years.
So what is the current method of changing the filters? Because if we can save $700,000.
Well, currently we do those in-house, and it takes one person approximately 75 or 80% of the year if you're going to put the math to it and do time motion. So we're going to free up our resources to pay attention to the more technical repairs and change-outs on the HVAC systems and other repairs throughout the maintenance shop that we need to do. So we're freeing up our internal resources.
So you're freeing up one person, right?
Yes.
And
well, there's two to three people that do it, but when I do the time on it, it works out to one person over 8 or 9 months. And that person doesn't get to work all the time on filters. They might start working and work 3 or 4 hours and get pulled off to something else. And this keeps us routine, changing filters and doing what we need to do on time.
And that's the labor costs. There are also then the filter costs, the disposable filter costs on top of that. And a part of their larger budget, which they've got in their tentative budget, some cuts for next year, there's a redeployment of some of the more technical resources on some of the more technical jobs that we're currently having to sub out, the more dynamic jobs. If something breaks, we have to call in a heating and air company on something like that. So the variable costs can be higher on those. And then the less technical staff involved in this, we've cut some funds here, or Greg's team, from some of the grounds improvements, some significant fund cuts there to redeploy some of those internal resources there for things that we had been subbing out. This is part of the larger overall plan for cost savings within the maintenance department.
So this will save us money overall or no?
Yes, it will. It's part of, when you look at it right now, it looks like we're spending extra money, but we've also cut money in other budgets for next year. And so our resources will be utilized over there in-house more than they have been, but with other vendors.
So, do you have an idea of what we were paying for filters?
If we purchase them ourselves, it's about $15,000 each time we change filters,
We change them twice,
4 times a year.
4 times a year. So we're really just freeing up someone's time to do other things,
Yes.
because it's not.
Any more?
The costs for filters now to the costs to sub out are fairly similar, and I think that's what the board's looking at. The costs right now for some of these variable contracts that we run are a little bit harder to estimate and easier if we can take our technical staff or our highly trained staff in-house to pick those up at a higher rate, for things that are more an emergency nature. The other one would be, again, we've cut significant costs, so redeploying that resource from the school improvement budget, what do you call it, that one, where you do the grounds improvements?
It's just school improvements for grounds.
Yeah, so that we can use our less technical resources in some of those areas. So this creates savings in other parts for overall cuts within the maintenance department's budget. So as you look at next year's overall maintenance department budget, reallocating those human resources within the department. This is allowed for that on something that's a very fixed cost that can be estimated at a high rate, whereas changing some broken part on a machine that's on a roof on quick notice, so we have air conditioning for our kiddos, has a pretty high variable cost. It's a little harder for us to calculate. So if we can have our folks engaged in that at the highest rate, and that these rote tasks at the lowest rate subbed out, we can redeploy those as efficiencies internally, even though the cost for the filters is similar.
Do you have any idea, since you looked at all those, do you have any idea overall, around about, like a guesstimate of how much money we're saving on those HR positions?
What's your overall budget cut from this year?
10%.
Yes, 10% budget cut of.
Overall throughout our departments, what I put together for this year.
What dollar amount is that?
What's that?
What dollar amount is that?
I'll send that to you. I don't have it sitting right in front of me.
So, and Dr. Kurtz, what I appreciate is your focus on having the individual staff work to their highest training and certification. So that part really does offer the greatest efficiency. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Webb and his team have worked really hard and thought through a lot of moving pieces
No doubt.
to make this pay off on the back end.
No, totally understand. Thank you.
Just to follow up, if we cannot hire enough people to fill our department to do every job that's out there, and this was something that looked like we could lasso it, corral it, people can be very accountable for it very easily. They give us reports on it, something that we can monitor very easily and get taken care of in the way we're going to do it. And I think it's really a good, efficient way to move forward.
Thank you. Some good questions. Any other questions on that one? We don't want to cut anybody off. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's try another one. I got 3 chances up here. So, next one, custodial supplies and equipment repair contract. I didn't even get to the recommendation, did I? Did I even read the recommendation on that one? Oh, well. Here we go. I'll do the custodial supplies. The superintendent recommends entering into an annual agreement with Imperial Dade for custodial supplies, custodial equipment repair, and miscellaneous custodial services. The current contract for custodial supplies runs through June 30th, 2026. A request for proposal was issued in December 25 to identify the next custodial supplies vendor. The RFP was advertised on the Georgia Procurement website and the BCS website. A pre-proposal meeting was held, 2 qualified vendors submitted proposals, and the evaluation team reviewed both written submissions and on-site operations for each company. Proposals were scored on experience, the service approach for each, financial stability, and cost. Imperial Dade received the highest overall score and will continue providing service with the same team that has supported our schools successfully for the past 10 years. The contract is renewable annually, allows for inflation adjustments per the CPI, and allows for adjustments due to system growth.
Any questions? Okay.
All right. And the last item is for grounds and athletic field services. The superintendent recommends approval to increase the annual spending authority with ACS for grounds care and athletic field services to a total not to exceed amount of $875,854 for FY27. The district currently contracts with ACS for basic grounds care services, which includes some but not all of the athletic field services. Athletic fields require specialized care, and these services were previously spread across multiple vendors. By consolidating all grounds and field services with one provider, the district improves accountability, scheduling, and consistency while reducing overall cost. A separate request for proposal was issued for the athletic field services in January 2026. The RFP was advertised on the Georgia Procurement website and the BCS website. A pre-proposal meeting was held. 5 qualified firms responded. ACS was both the lowest cost proposer and the highest scoring overall. The contract is renewable annually, allows for inflation adjustments per the CPI, and allows for adjustments due to system growth.
So this proposal is, the increase is strictly due to the athletic facilities themselves?
Correct.
Okay. So we could assume that that number would be, would grow again with the completion of the BASA project that we have in the works as well, correct?
Yes, it will. But that will be an add to it.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Questions? Okay.
All right, we'll move those items to consent. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to move into executive session to discuss and deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? All right.
My name is Miss Perry, and I am a pre-K teacher at Holsenbeck Elementary School. And I have been a pre-K teacher for 4 years here at Holsenbeck, and I've been actually at Holsenbeck for 16 years. Barrow County Schools pre-K program helps students be prepared for kindergarten by giving them lots of hands-on experience. We do a lot of pre-reading skills. We talk about letters, letter sounds, differentiating sounds, rhyming words. We also read a lot of stories, work on comprehension where students are learning to be active listeners and to explore ideas that are in stories. Children are able to gain number sense, begin gaining some number sense through counting, numeral recognition, shapes, things like that. We also do a lot of pre-writing skills. We work on a lot of fine motor development, strengthening their hands, which prepares them for writing stamina in kindergarten. We also do a lot of questioning, talking, listening, which is a pre-writing skill, a very important one actually. Before students are able to express themselves in writing, they must be able to express themselves verbally. So that is another way that we prepare them. Our pre-K school day is very busy, and it is also very developmentally appropriate. We do a lot of music, movement. A lot of our learning is done through music and movement. We have large group activities, small group activities with teachers. There's a time in the day where kids are allowed to have free exploration time, where they self-select various hands-on center activities. We have playground time, which is just complete free play outside. We have access to our gym, especially on rainy days, and we do get to experience eating in the cafeteria. At the end of our day, we have at least a short period where we have a rest time. I would say being in the elementary school setting helps prepare students to be HES students. They become familiar with the procedures, the rules, the routines of our school. They also are able to learn a lot about being in a classroom environment. Also, the Barrow County Pre-K curriculum includes a very strong and meaningful social-emotional curriculum where kids are explicitly taught how to advocate for themselves appropriately, how to get along with other students in a classroom, and basically how to participate in classroom life. And if you are considering entering your child into the Barrow County School Pre-K program, please visit the Barrow County website.
My name is Katie Toccato. I am a Georgia Pre-K teacher at Bethlehem Elementary. This is my 14th year teaching Georgia Pre-K and my 5th year here at BES. So I think Barrow County Pre-K really does prepare children for kindergarten, but also just overall student success. It really does lay the foundation for success for kids in school. Students get to explore, they get to learn, and they get to apply all the knowledge that they've learned in class. We get to learn important literacy skills like identifying letters, letter sounds, how to hold a book correctly, how to answer questions, lots of math concepts like counting, identifying numbers, patterns, sorting, and they really get to learn a lot about their social-emotional skills. Students get to learn how to share, how to work as a team, and just have those positive interactions with their peers and other adults. So we do lots of fun and engaging activities all throughout our pre-K day. We have morning meeting every morning where students get to share something special maybe they did that morning, maybe what they had for breakfast. We have all kinds of music and movement that we do throughout the day where kids get to sing and dance and really let out that energy that they have. We have phonological awareness time where students get to learn their basic reading skills. We have small group instruction where we break students up into groups based on maybe certain concepts that we might be learning in the classroom. And those are all teacher planned and they're really engaging and fun for the kids. We have center play every day, which is always a kid favorite. Students get to learn through play. They get to learn how to socialize with one another, how to take turns, and they really get to use their imagination and be creative. And then, of course, we have recess, which is always the one they look the most forward to. We have awesome playgrounds at all of our schools. Even here at BES, we have 2 awesome playgrounds that the kids get to play on. So our day is busy, but it's fun, and the kids really do get to make the most out of their learning throughout the day. So I think that having a child here at Bethlehem or any Barrow County school is a huge benefit. They really get to learn and explore their school before they even get to kindergarten.
We are reconvened. Can I get a motion to approve the personnel report?
So moved.
Yes, thank you. And then we have one action item to vote on. Can I get a motion to approve the IFBG Internet Acceptable Use revision policy?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, we got to vote on personnel first.
break.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always skip something that never fails.
We're getting there.
Okay, so can I get a motion, vote for personnel?
Personnel.
Show of hands. Okay, thank you.
Then I motioned the,
Yeah, and Kayla, you second?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor? All right. So our next meeting is April 14th. And we hope to see you all there, and y'all have a wonderful, relaxing spring break.
Great job.